Hello, hello. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Thank you for your patience. For those of you that stayed with us, even though Zoom tells you that you can run two Zoom calls simultaneously, it does not appear you can. Steve was doing one at the same time, and our account said you could do it. Well, guess what? You can't. So appreciate your patience. All right. So we're giving it just a minute for everybody to jump on. I know we're going to miss a few that's scheduled the previous time. We're going to record this, though. We're going to get this sent out to everybody who registered. Can't wait to share the material with you. So let's go ahead. Let's get started here. So our call is called Appointment Bingo. Appointment Bingo. What the heck is Appointment Bingo? Well, it all starts when I went to a doctor's appointment with my wife years back. And as we were checking out, she went to the receptionist. The receptionist had her book open with all these appointments listed, but nobody's name in those appointments. And I thought, that gives me an idea. I could do the same thing with my real estate business. I could determine when I want to have appointments, and then I could go ahead and then start filling in those appointments. So who likes to be in control? Anybody besides me like to be in control? Who thinks that control and the real estate business don't go together? Not true. Not true. You can control it if you want to control it. So what I'm going to show you on today's call is I'm going to show you guys in as much detail as I can exactly how I averaged taking 18 listings a month and did it in 4 days a week. The one thing that I regret is because of the foul up we had with the time, I actually had my oldest daughter, Brienne, was going to jump on the call and talk about how we took every Friday off together. As she was growing up, we take Fridays off together, and we would go to the zoo, and we would go to the water park, and we would go to the museums, and everything. That was our day. And Dad didn't work on Friday. That was the day to spend with the kids. And I want to share with you guys my motivation. Everybody see that? That's my motivation right there. I've raised 7 children while selling real estate full time. 7 kids. And this one right here with the hat in the middle, that's Brienne. That's my oldest daughter. And she has since gone on to build a very successful real estate business. She's gotten to the point where she's closed over 200 sales a year herself. And now she's expanded into a team. And she has 26 members on her team right now. And she's doing about 600 to 700 transactions a year. So she learned how to sell real estate from Dad. This one right here is on my left side. She and her husband are the 2 top mortgage originators in the whole state of Oklahoma. This one here is about ready to have a baby. This redhead right here is about ready to have a baby any minute. She's an anesthesiologist. This one up here is my oldest son, Brett. Many of you know Brett. He sells real estate for me. Then Abby over here is a nurse, works as a labor and delivery nurse. Then we've got Gavin, who runs an independent insurance agency. And then we've got my little 6'5" baby boy back here, Carson. And he's a senior in high school. He's the only one we have left at home. But see, guys, I made the decision early on that I did not want my life to be all about work. And all I was the provider for the family, and they never saw Dad. That's not the kind of father that I wanted to be. And some people think, man, I can't build a large real estate business and have a balanced family life and do things outside of real estate. So wrong. But here's the thing. If you think that, then you're right. You can't do it. You've got to believe that you can do it. You've got to believe that you can have both. And I'm going to show you guys some of the techniques that I used for how to have both. Now, by the way, I want to show you one more picture. So there's 7. Just add water. Oh, hang on. Where'd it go? That's what that turned into. So now we've got son-in-laws and grandchildren. I'm expecting my first grandson any minute. And then Brianna is also pregnant with another grandchild. We don't know what it is, but it's due in December. So we'll have 6 grandchildren by the end of the year. All right, so let's move on. How do we do it? How do we crank up our real estate business while still having a balanced life? All right, so the first question I want you guys to write down, set your phones aside, get something to write some notes on, because you're going to have lots of notes today. I want you to understand how to do this. Okay, and at the end of this call, I'm going to have my email address and my phone number, and I want you to write it down. If you want help, if you have questions, then I want you to reach out to me. Okay, because some of you are like, Gordon, I don't believe you. I don't believe you did that. Well, that's why I was going to have Brianna on here so she could attest to it. So are you working or are you just at work? Let me tell you guys, I'm not ever going to tell you that you don't have to work hard, because you do. But you have to work hard during work time so that you can be off and have playtime. Work when you're working, play when you're playing. So when you show up, do you know what to do, or are you just standing around? See, I watch real estate agents. I've trained real estate agents for 30 years. And so often what we see happening is they show up to work and they really don't have a plan. They're just kind of looking around. They go get some coffee and they go talk to their neighbor and they check their email and they piddle around, but they really don't have a plan. And some of you right now may be able to relate to this point all too well. See, when you show up to work, guys, I'm just telling you, if you're a fly on the wall watching me work, you would see that there is no wasted time. I'm not sitting around twiddling my thumbs. I've got a schedule laid out every day. I have a list of tasks, of priorities that need to be done every day. I plug those into my schedule, and then I follow my schedule from start to finish to the end of the day. There is no wasted time.
Attorney, but I don't know who it is.
Paul, would you mute yourself, please?
Right.
All right, I got it. Thank you. All right, so when you show up to work, do you know what to do, or are you just standing around? If you don't know what to do, then you need to talk to Steve or myself, and we're going to tell you what a productive day looks like, because it's not enough just to show up. You got to know what to do and how to be productive. So what 3 to 5 prospecting methods are you using to generate appointments? You've got to know where your business is coming from. Very important. Now, there's one source that I'm going to tell you every single one of you need to have, and that's your past clients and centers of influence. Every single one of you need to be keeping track, working your past clients and centers of influence. Now, you may choose, when I was in business, I'll tell you, my sources of business were this: expired listings, for sale by owners, past clients and centers of influence. That's where I got the majority of my business from. But you don't have to use those sources. You decide what your sources of business are going to be. But when you do, then let's look at this. Do you know the scripts and the objections for each of those sources? If you're going to call for sale by owners, one of your sources, you need to be the frickin' best at for sale by owners. You need to know what to say, what to do, what your approach is going to be, how to overcome the objections. You need to be great at it. If you're going to do expireds, you need to be great at expireds. You got to decide what your methods are. What are the scripts? What are the objections? Practice, 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 rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Get it down to the point that you know exactly what to say and exactly what to do, because real estate, we all know this, guys. Real estate is simply a reoccurring conversation. That's all it is. It's the same questions. It's the same problems. It's the same situations over and over and over again. Practice what to say, and more importantly than what to say, how to say it. Once you've got your words down, then it's how do you use your tonality? How do you become a better listener? How do you refine those scripts? It's just like somebody who's singing. There's some people can sing the lyrics right, but sound horrible. And other people can sing the lyrics with beautiful melody, and it sounds like a beautiful song. When you're prospecting, do your words sound like beautiful music, or are you stumbling all over the place? See, if you're going to be efficient and effective, if you're going to accomplish what I want each and every one of you to be able to accomplish, you've got to get to the point where you've got this down, and the words are just like lyrics. And you play beautiful music with that wonderful instrument you have below your nose. All right.
Room.
Okay. Now, there's one of my daughters, Chaylee. I didn't think you could jump on. You're muted. All right, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay, yes, I am here for as long as I can be.
All right, so I want you guys to meet my second daughter. Because again, the reason I asked Chaylee and Brianne to jump on was to give me some credibility. Because some of you were saying, I have a hard time believing, Gordon, that you took 18 listings a month on average in 4 days a week. I'm telling you guys, I took off on Fridays and I spent it with my children. Shady, tell them about Fridays. What did we do?
So every Friday was a little different. Sometimes it would be going to the zoo, or maybe going to a movie or the park, just any kind of fun activity that we wanted to do. He was very present. I remember when we would come back from day off, is what we called it. So Fridays were our day off, and we would do Ziggly line. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things I remember. But all that to say, yes, he was very present. He was there on weekends. We took those Fridays, so we very much had that time together.
And so then you have gone on to become a mortgage originator now, correct? You worked for me as my assistant for how many years?
7.
7 years as my personal assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And then she and her husband, Derek, tell them about what you do in the mortgage business now.
Yeah, so we transitioned to finance. So my husband and I are both mortgage originators, and we have been the top originators in Oklahoma for the past few years. And so doing more home loans than anybody else in the state of Oklahoma. And a huge part of both of our success, especially if my husband Derek was on the call as well, we attribute to my dad. We have seen him talk with clients, and the way he deals with people and his drive has been absolutely such a key factor in what has helped us be so successful.
So I wasn't working on Fridays. I was spending the day with you guys, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. So there's my proof as best I can give it to you. Thank you, Chaylee.
All right. You're welcome.
All right. So now let's talk about appointment bingo. What does that mean? All right. I'm going to share my screen with you guys again. Okay. So appointment bingo worked like this. This was the epiphany that I had when I went by the doctor's office. So there were a bunch of appointments laid out, but no names in those appointments. And I thought, you know what? I want to be more in control of my day, because here's something else that I've noticed. And I want you guys to pay really close attention to if this applies to you. I've noticed in training real estate agents, they'll get a listing appointment in the afternoon, and in their mind, I'm booked. My afternoon's full. I have a listing appointment. I'm booked. I got a showing appointment. I'm booked. No, you're not. You just have a small segment of your afternoon that's full. So what I did Can everybody see this okay? Annabelle, can you see this all right? No? Can you see it now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. So I want you to understand how this works. It's really, really important. I want you guys to try this. So I would take a lunch at 12 o'clock and I would almost always meet my wife for lunch. Okay. And this was kind of my downtime in the middle of the day because up until 12 o'clock, I was prospecting like a maniac, following up on leads and doing CMAs. I always did my own CMAs. I had a hard time delegating that because I had more of a knowledge of the market than my staff did. So I would get in and I'd start my prospecting at 7:45 in the morning and I'd start calling expireds. Now, I'm not telling you guys to do that unless you're going to work expireds. If you're going to work expireds, you better get there early. Okay. And I would prospect until roughly 10:30, 11 o'clock. Then I would stop, get my CMAs done, get them turned into my assistant. My assistant would prepare my listing packets and hand them to me before I left the office for lunch. All right, so I would meet my wife for lunch from 12 to roughly 2 o'clock. Now I want you to see these numbers. Everybody see these numbers over here on the right-hand side? I want to explain them. Very important. These numbers were the priority of the order I wanted to set my listing appointments. So number one appointment was at 3 o'clock. So the first appointment I would book is 3 o'clock. Why 3 o'clock? Because if I could, I wanted to spend that extra time with my wife and have a longer lunch, longer downtime. So we'd go from 12. Now, sometimes if I had a bunch of appointments and I had to book my 2 o'clock, then we only had an hour. Okay. So number one appointment was 2 o'clock. Number two appointment was my 4 o'clock. Number three priority was my 5 o'clock. I would always, and this is an important point, guys, I would always take a break right here and I would follow up on the leads and the contacts that I wasn't able to reach in the morning. Okay. So I would have my leads with me that I was trying to follow up, my hot leads. And I couldn't always reach them in the morning, so I'd try them again in the evening. If I couldn't reach certain expireds, I would call them again after 6. Certain for sale by owners, I'd call them again after 6. Then if I had to do a late night appointment, which most of the time I didn't, but if I did, I would do it at 7 o'clock. Now, some of you may think that these time periods are too tight for you because I would do my listing appointment was 30 minutes. And I'm going to show you in a second how I kept it to 30 minutes. But my listing appointment was 30 minutes and then 30 minutes drive time to the next appointment. Now, some of you may say, I can't do that. That's too tight of a schedule for me. Okay. Then instead of 1 hour between appointments, make it an hour and a half. Give yourself an hour to do the listing presentation, 30 minutes to drive to the next one. Okay, again, I got it refined because I did it so much. You know, I listed well over 200 homes a year, every year. And so I got to the point where it's pretty refined. So again, my 3 o'clock was first, then my 4 o'clock, then my 5 o'clock. Then I would go back and book my 2 o'clock. And the last one I would book is my 5 o'clock. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about this before I move on? Is this clear? Okay, so then the game where the name appointment bingo, who's played bingo before? Raise your hand if you played bingo before. Okay, so it became part of succeeding at a high level is playing mind games with yourself and trying to make things fun and easy to wrap your mind around. And so for me, it was a game.
But I didn't get the link.
Stand by. Okay, so it was a game, and I'm trying to fill in. If everybody mute yourself unless you have a question. I'm hearing people come through the speaker here. All right. So it was a game. How do I fill up every appointment slot? Because as you can see, I have 5 appointment slots that I can fill per day, 4 days a week. That means in theory, I could go on 20 listing appointments in 4 days. Now, I never did that. I never had 20 appointments in a week, but I had many, many days when I would go on 5 listing appointments in a day. I had many days when I took 5 listings in a day, many times. Okay, but this is appointment bingo. So I pre-booked my appointments. Now, what if somebody asked the question, what if somebody wanted to meet you at 3:30? What did you do? I didn't meet them then. My schedule was more important. I could do a 3 or I could do a 4, but I can't do 3:30. I stuck to the schedule. And here's what I've found, guys. The people who are truly motivated, your good leads, they're the ones that will cooperate with you. When you start having to make exceptions with people, they're almost always the bad leads. When you need to do something special for them, yeah, the good leads are cooperative. The bad leads aren't. All right, so before I move on from this slide, everybody clear on this? That's appointment bingo. You guys decide what appointments you want to go on throughout the week, pre-book them, and then your prospecting in the morning is designed to fill those appointment slots. But when you lay it out like I've got it laid out here, it makes it a whole lot easier to wrap your mind around, how can I do 5 listing appointments in a day? There it is right there. How do we do it? All right, let's look at the next slide. Sorry. All right, number 1, pre-qualify. Every listing appointment is thoroughly pre-qualified. If somebody would not take the time to answer my pre-qualification questions, I did not go on that appointment. Okay, my listing appointments were thoroughly pre-qualified. Everybody clear on that? Okay. Then step 2, after I pre-qualified them, I would send out an appointment confirmation email. Now, what did that consist of? I confirmed the time and date. If you'll see across the bottom, I confirmed the time and date of the appointment. So, Chris Aldridge, I'm going to meet you Tuesday afternoon at 5 o'clock. And I'm going to have a link to my Zillow reviews and a link to my marketing plan on that email. So part of my pre-qualifying is I'm going to let you know in advance that I'm going to send this. And I'm going to ask that you take a moment to click on the reviews and click on the marketing plan. And then I'm going to tell them as part of my pre-qualifying, because I believe it'll help you feel a lot more confident with what I'm going to be able to do to help you.
How long do you have before you go to work?
I'm sorry? What was your question? Okay. All right. Again, mute yourself. If you don't have a question, mute yourself, please. Okay. So I'd have the link to the marketing plan and the reviews. I also would ask them to please confirm once they've received the email, just to reply back that they've got it, because sometimes it would go into spam. And so I asked them to confirm it. Okay. So that's step 2. Send the appointment confirmation email. Step 3, call and confirm the appointment. Every time, call and confirm the appointment. Now, when I'm confirming it, I'm confirming the date and time. Okay, so I'll see you this evening at 4 o'clock. Are all decision makers going to be there? So if I'm talking to the wife, so if I'm talking to Annabelle, I see Annabelle Pacheco there. Hi, Annabelle. So if I'm confirming with you, and let's say what, Annabelle, unmute yourself for a second.
Yes.
Are you married?
I am married, yes.
Okay, and what's your husband's name?
Jesse.
Justin?
No, Jesse.
Jesse. Okay. So then I'd say, so role play this with me. Ring,
Okay.
ring.
Hello?
Hi, Annabelle. Gordon Watson with Hamilwood Realty. How are you?
Good, Gordon. How are you?
I am doing terrific. Thank you. I'm looking forward to meeting you and your husband this evening at 4 o'clock. Is your husband still going to be able to be there at that time?
Yes, he will.
Terrific. And by the way, I emailed you a confirmation with a link to our Zillow reviews and our marketing plan. Did you get a chance to look that over? Say no.
No, I have not.
Hey, I understand. I'm sure you're busy. May I ask a favor of you?
Sure.
Would you please take a moment and review those 2 links before I get there this evening. I really think it's going to help our appointment to go so much better.
Okay.
Would you mind doing that?
Sure.
Right. I appreciate it very much. Okay. So you really want to drive that point home, guys, because when, my Zillow reviews are really good. I've got a 5-star rating on Zillow, and my marketing plan is very thorough. It's all laid out on Canva. Okay. It's visual. I can show you that at another time. But the thing is, they're going to go through and they're going to see everything I'm going to do to market their home. They're going to see all the wonderful reviews that I've got. And so by the time I walk in the door, if you do everything correctly, by the time you walk in the door, you should be 80% sold by that time. Okay. There's a huge difference though, Annabelle. There's a huge difference when they don't review the email, when they don't click on those links. Okay. It's a different listing presentation. That's why I drive that point home so hard.
And if I were to respond to you, well, why don't we just review that together when you come over?
Because I want to make the most productive use of our time. And if you'll take a moment to look that over, that way you'll have any questions that I can address when I get there. Would that be okay?
Sure, makes sense.
I want to make sure that you and Jesse are completely comfortable and confident with what I'm going to be able to do to help you. And this is an important decision. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
So if you wouldn't mind just taking a moment briefly, I know you guys are busy, but I really think it'll help you feel a lot more comfortable with how we're going to be able to work together. Would that be okay?
Yes, makes sense.
Okay. That's exactly what I'd say. I'm going to drive that point home.
And if the spouse isn't there, do you reschedule?
That's a great question, Evan. So it depends upon their level of motivation. Okay. So let's just say that first of all, I know because I'm pre-qualified, I know how strong her motivation is. And I say to Annabelle, so Annabelle, will Jesse also be able to be there? He had something come up at the last minute and he's not going to be able to make it. Say, hey, I understand completely. So let me ask you, if I went ahead and met with you today and you felt comfortable and confident that I was the right guy for the job, would Jesse be okay with you going ahead and hiring me? Oh, no, I think he'd want to meet you. Great. Then what we need to do is we need to reschedule for another time. Okay. Then the other thing I would ask is there a possibility that once we meet, if a question does come up, is it possible to get Jesse on the phone during that time?
Oh, sure.
Right. So it's a judgment call, Evan. It's a judgment call.
That's good.
Mhm.
Thank you.
It's not 100% either way.
Mm.
Okay. So this is call and confirm date and time. Are the decision makers going to be present and have they received and reviewed my email? Now, I can tell you over my career, my listing appointment to listing taken percentage was 78%. 78% of the time I walked away with a signed listing contract. So it's not 100%. If you're getting 100%, you're not taking enough risks. 100% is never the goal. Roughly 80% is ideal. All right, step 4, arrive 5 minutes early and review your information for the appointment. You need to go over your material because remember, if you're following this appointment bingo and you're doing a lot of appointments in the afternoon, they can start to run together. So you want to make sure that you get your head where it needs to be and you get yourself focused on this appointment because for this period of time, these people are the most important people in the world at this moment. Okay, so you need to be sure that your material is well organized, review their motivation. As a listing appointment, you are there to solve a problem. Remember that. You're there to solve a problem. What is the problem that you're there to solve? You got to remind yourself of that. They want to sell this home because they're moving out of state for a new job. They want to sell this home because they're looking to downsize. They want to sell this home because of this, because of that. You have to be clear on what that is. Secondly, remind yourself of their names. Man, I have got caught several times forgetting to check their names, and I get in the house and I cannot remember the names of the people that I'm talking to. And then third is remind yourself of what price it is that you don't want to go above on the listing. What's the max? What is my walk away price? Because let me tell you, if you go in on a listing appointment and you don't know what price you absolutely won't go above, you'll almost always walk away with an overpriced listing. So you've got to know what the price is that you won't go above on that listing. So that's step 4. Okay, so let's talk about the accumulation effect. So some of you are wondering, well, Gordon, how do I get this many appointments? How do I even get this going on? Well, it's your work habits, guys. See, if you really were honest with yourself and you really evaluated how you spend your time, I bet you most of you on this call could drastically improve on your work habits. Okay. If you're prospecting consistently, so I'm not going to tell you that you're going to do this overnight, because you're not. Unless you're already there, you're not going to do this overnight. But as you're prospecting consistently, what happens is the accumulation effect. You're going to build up more and more and more leads and more and more and more opportunities. The challenge that most people run into is when this starts to work. Look here, when this starts to work, it's then staying driven and consistent when the appointments begin to roll in. See, once you start booking yourself and you're going on more appointments than ever, it's easy to start to justify why you don't have to prospect as intensely today, why you don't have to make those evening attempts, why you don't have to do this, why you don't have to do that. Our biggest enemy in this business, write this down. Your biggest enemy in this business is your ability to rationalize. It's your ability to rationalize, guys. When you don't want to do something, you can find a reason why not to do it. But I'm telling you, no matter how many appointments you go on, you've got to always act like you don't have anything. You've got to always, in your mind, you're always at zero. And who's been to the circus? You see those people spinning the plates? They got the plates going. Okay. If you focus on just spinning one plate, what happens to the other plates? They fall, they break. See, in the real estate business, we've got to get good at keeping all the plates spinning, keeping all the plates spinning, keeping all the plates spinning. But see, if you get those appointments built up and going, you can't back off. You can't start to justify why now you're coming in later and you're not sticking to your schedule and you're not prospecting as hard and you're not following up in the same way. You're not making your evening calls. I'm telling you guys, this is not as hard as what some of you may think that it is. It's just your work habits aren't right. You're not working in the right way. Now, I showed you in the very beginning what my motivation was. I'm raising a family of 7 children. My wife stayed home with the kids. My children don't know life without a full-time housekeeper because I had to have a housekeeper to help my wife. Not to mention, I like to meet her in the middle of the day for lunch. So we always had somebody there to help with the kids. Okay. So you've got to stay consistent. If you have to earn the right to take the time off. Who would love to sell 100 houses a year and be able to do it and take a 3-day weekend every weekend? I promise you, you can do it. I promise you, you can do it. It's your work habits. It's the way you see the business. I'm telling you, when it's time to work, but do it the right way. Work the right way. Many of you think you know the right way, but you don't. And I can prove it to you. Look at your results. If you're working the right way, you should have the right results. But if you don't have the right results, then you need to make some adjustments. Okay, another really, really important point. What is your alternative activity if your appointment slot isn't full? All right, so here's the way our afternoon looks. Your first appointment's at 3 o'clock. Your second appointment is at 4 o'clock. Or no, let's say your second appointment, let's say it's going to be 5 o'clock. You didn't fill your 4 o'clock. So you got a 5 o'clock. So you got a 3 o'clock and you got a 5 o'clock. What are you going to do during that 4 o'clock? Now think about this for a second, guys. Some of you haven't ever really processed this. What are you going to do during that 4 o'clock? Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. You're either going to be previewing homes or you're going to be doing more prospecting. I'm going to take my cell phone out and I'm going to pull up my hotspot on my cell phone and I'm going to connect it to my laptop and I'm going to pull off in a parking lot somewhere and I'm going to crank up my laptop and I'm going to prospect. I'm going to make use of that time. See, here's what you guys have got to get clear on. Most of you, if you're selling 100 homes a year, and I promise I can coach anybody on this call to 100 homes a year. Promise you I can. If you've got the proper motivation, if you're coachable, I can get any one of you to 100 sales a year. And for most everybody on this call, that means a 7-figure income. If I can teach you how to make 7 figures while still being present with your family, with your friends, with activities outside of real estate, is it worth working hard during work time? Yes. Let me tell you, it is. And it helps the day pass a lot faster too, because you don't have any downtime. So what are we doing during our alternative time? If we don't have an appointment at that time, we're going to decide we're either previewing homes or we're doing more prospecting and lead follow-up. You don't have to think about it. It's a no-brainer. You already know what your afternoon looks like when you leave the office. You already know. So here's the question I want you guys to think about. If this is the kind of life you want to create, what adjustments are you going to make starting today? If you keep doing what you've been doing, you can't expect to get anything different. But if you like the sounds of what I'm telling you, you can do, guys. If you like the sounds of it, then you got to do it. You got to make some changes. You got to make the necessary adjustments. So I'm going to share this with you. Everybody see that? This is my email address and this is my phone number. If you have questions, email me or call me. And if you want to be coached by somebody who is going to push you, if you want to be coached by somebody who is going to take you to that next level, you let me know. I've got a few openings in my schedule, and I want to coach people who want to really grow a great real estate business while creating a balanced life. I've been there, I've done it, and I can teach you guys how to do it too. So let's take a few questions before we wrap up our call today. What questions can I answer for you guys? Just unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please.
Joe Sayer from Connecticut.
Yes, go ahead. Hi, Joseph.
Good afternoon. Would you suggest I work for a small real estate firm,
Yeah,
but I have my own office and I like to grow that office.
right.
Is it better to join something like an EXP or a Real or just continue where I am and build a
No.
business?
Company doesn't make any difference. Okay, can I tell you the name of my company, Joseph?
I think you did at the beginning.
Hamilwood Realty. Everybody's heard of Hamilwood Realty, right? No, the answer is nobody's ever heard of Hamilwood Realty. Okay, because we've been an independent we've been an independent company since 1978. It's a small independent brokerage. And yet when I transitioned out of individual production, I started growing a team in 2019. And in 4 years, I took my team to the number 8 highest producing team in the entire nation. We were doing 550 sales a year in 4 years. Okay. Didn't have anything to do with Hamilwood Realty.
Was it just local?
Yeah. Yep. It has to do with you, Joseph. Okay. If you want to
Thank you.
do it, you can do it. Absolutely. Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Would you walk me through the steps once you get to the listing presentation? You said that your listing presentation is like 30 minutes.
Yes,
I have a tendency to go longer with my listing presentation. You said you
sure. Most people do. Most people do. It has to do, Kenneth, thank you for your question. It has to do with your preparation up to that point. Okay. Most people don't have enough information and don't do enough prep. See, when I walk in on a listing presentation, most of the work is already done. Okay. I've already sent them my marketing plan. I've already sent them, and within my marketing plan, they see my resume and they see this, some of the other stuff that I want them to see. I've already got my CMA is all prepared. Now, some of you say, well, do you send the CMA in advance? No, I don't. Some people do. I don't. I always brought it with me. Okay. And, but see, I bet you, Kenneth, if I watched you do a listing presentation 5 times in a row, it's probably different 5 times. Okay. Am I right? Is that why you're nodding your head?
correct.
Probably different. Okay.
You're right.
If you're going to get highly efficient and effective, because the more you take and you fine tune your listing presentation, the better it's going to get. Okay. So you got to really refine what you do and how you do it to the point that it's so automatic that you can accomplish what you need to accomplish in 30 minutes. Now, did I ever go over 30 minutes? Yeah, sometimes I did. And I'm also looking to see how far away my next appointment is too. Do I need a full 30 minutes drive time? Sometimes I only need 15 minutes, so I may go a little bit over. But you really want to refine your listing presentation, and you want to make sure, Kenneth, that everything that you do up to that listing presentation is you've got to follow the steps and the procedures. It's not really that hard. It's repetitive. Okay, thank you for your question. Another question?
Can I just piggyback on Kenneth's question?
Sure.
Are you going to go over listing presentations and doing CMAs with us at some point in time?
I'll be glad to. And I'd even do it with you one-on-one if you just write down my email address or my phone number and call me.
Okay, I haven't. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do it with you individually. At some point on our bonus Zoom calls, we do all sorts of things to try to create value for you guys. And we do this on the first and the third Thursdays of every month. Okay. But the thing I can tell you guys, the reason I'm covering this today is because this is where my passion is at for the real estate community. I have seen so many people, lose their families, end up in divorce. Their kids are a wreck because they don't have any time to spend with them because all they can do is just focus on business all the time, business all the time, business all the time. That's not what I'm about. If you want to coach, it's about how to teach you how to grow an incredible real estate business, but work all the time. I'm the wrong guy for you. I'm not the right coach for you. I want to teach you how to be productive, how to be efficient, how to be effective, and how to be something else besides a real estate agent. A mother, a father, a husband, a wife, a friend. I want to teach you guys how to do that. And I know that I can because I've done it and I've coached hundreds of people. I've coached real estate agents for 30 years. I've coached hundreds of people to create incredible lives. And I can do that for you if you're properly motivated. That's the key I keep saying, because if it's not going to be like easy work, and Kenneth, I'm going to tell you to make a lot of changes more than likely. I'm going to tell you that you got to stop doing this. We got to start doing this. And guess what? I want you to think about my coaching and training kind of like if you haven't been in the gym for a long time. and I take you in the gym and we hit those weights hard, how are you going to feel the next day?
Sore.
You're going to feel sore, aren't you? Now, just because you feel sore, well, forget that. Then I'm not ever going back to the gym again. I'm not ever lifting those weights again. Forget that. No, you got to work through the pain. See, when I tell you to start making some changes, it's going to be painful. It's going to hurt because your habits want to go one way. And I'm going to tell you, if you want this, you got to do this, not that. And I'm going to hold you accountable to it. But eventually, just like going to the gym, the pain's going to go away. And what's going to be replaced is a new body, a new person. How would you guys feel if you could close 100 sales a year times your average commission? Run the numbers. What would that do to your life? How would that change? I think most of you'd have a dramatic change. So then why aren't you doing it? Probably because you don't believe you can or you don't know how. Then for the love of all that's holy, write down my email. Write down my phone number. Let me help you get there. Okay? Let me help you get there. What we'll do, we'll set up the first call. One-on-one, no charge. No charge. I'll interview you. You interview me. Yes, Maxine, I can help you get that facelift. So we'll interview each other and we'll see, are we a good fit? Are we a good fit? Okay. And if we are, then I would love to help you guys accomplish some incredible things. So any other questions?
Now, do you
Yes, Annabelle.
personally coach? Do you,
Sorry?
are you the one coaching or is it someone in your company that coaches?
No, in this particular case, it would be me.
Okay.
Okay. I told you I have a few openings in my schedule right now. And for any of you that want to be coached by me, then reach out to me, email me, call me, text me. Or some of you may know my partner, Steve Powers. He's an incredible coach. Or Sydney Fullen, one of our other coaches. Yeah. But if you want to be coached by me, then it would be me. Okay. Any other questions? Please. This is our time together. I want to help you guys.
Hey, Gordon.
Yeah.
If you were brand new, what would you attack first if you were just trying to get your face in front of people? Would it be expireds or what would it be?
No, I probably wouldn't do expireds. The first thing I would do is build up my center of influence. I would take my cell phone out. Okay. And tell me your name. Was it Drew? Who was that was speaking? Drew?
Sorry about that. Yes, it's Drew.
Okay, Drew. So answer a couple questions for me. What is your marketplace?
Newcastle, Oklahoma-ish, Newcastle, Washington, as far south as Washington.
Okay, so you're in my
as
neck
far
of the
north
woods.
as
So you're down
Indeed,
kind of
I know you
southwest.
very well. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Very good. All right. So then, Drew, this is what I would tell you. Get your cell phone out. If you're brand new, get your cell phone out. Start with the A's and go all the way through to the Z's and identify everybody. You know them, they know you, and they're in your general marketplace. Okay. And I would start there. Now, you can start with expireds if you want to, but it's kind of like saying, you know what? I want to take boxing lessons and I'm going to step in the ring with Mike Tyson.
Sure. Right. Okay.
I'd say let's start learning how to box first. Okay, because you're going to go up against a bunch of well-seasoned agents and it can be discouraging.
And for full transparency, like I just started my third year, but I still feel brand new. Like I haven't done very many deals at all. I think I just closed my 21st deal.
Yeah.
So it's been a slow start.
Well, here's the thing I would tell you, Drew, and that this may apply to many people on this call. Here's what I would tell you. We've got to decide on a reasonable goal. And the goal is going to have a lot to do with the questions that I ask you about your drive, your motivation, your desire, why you want to do what you want to do. Okay, because there's a lot of people, I want to be the best, I want to be number one, but you don't have any reason behind it. I just showed you 7 reasons at the beginning of this call. Okay. And then you got to put a plan together. And let me tell you the problem that people have. is they'll put a plan together and then they won't give the plan long enough to work. It's kind of like that guy that goes to the gym and he's fat and out of shape and he gives it a week and he looks in the mirror and says, well, shoot, I look the same as I did a week ago. Forget this. Let's go back to eating Twinkies. You got to give it time to work. The advantage that I have is not only have I been in the real estate industry for 40 years, I've closed over 4,000 houses myself. And if you count my team, we've done over 6,000. And I've coached real estate agents for 30 years. I can put a plan together that's 100% guaranteed to work. I know for a fact what to tell you to do that will work. Then it's a matter of you following through and doing it. That's a great question. Thank you for that, Drew.
How
Any other- Yes.
often and how long are the calls, the coaching calls?
So the coaching calls are a 30-minute Zoom call once a week. Okay, that's the structure. Now, everybody that I coach has my personal cell phone number, my email. I get calls throughout the week all the time from people that I coach. So you got 24/7 access to picking up the phone and calling me and saying, hey, Gordon, I'm having this challenge. I have this, whatever. Okay, Steve's clients call me all the time. My clients call Steve's too. You have access to all of our coaches. So it's a structured 30-minute Zoom call every week. But again, it's as often as you need it, to be honest with you. If I commit to somebody, you commit to me and I commit to you, you're going to get all of me. I'm going to do everything I can to help you succeed. Everything I can. So thank you for that question. Good to see you, by the way, Brian.
Same.
So any other questions, please?
Yeah, I've got one.
Go ahead.
Hey, Jim Vaughn, I'm up in Utah.
Yeah, Jim.
Hey, I've been in the business now for about 9 years.
Excellent.
When I first got into this, I jumped on every coaching thing I could get a hold of.
Yeah.
And it seemed like I kind of got lost in the numbers and kind of had to develop my own way, I guess.
Sure.
Don't think it's very effective still after 9 years. I mean, I do about between 7 and 10 a year. And that's about all I've been able to muster up. So I'm kind of curious, how many people do you take on and how is that?
I don't take on a lot. Okay. I don't take on a lot, first of all. If I have a full client load, I may coach 20 people. Okay. Now there was a time when I would coach 75 to 80 a week. Okay. Because I've been doing this a long time. Now I only take on, at the max I take on is 20 people right now. But you brought up a really good point that I want to elaborate on for a moment. Obviously, because of the industry I'm in, I study my competition, just like I would expect you guys to do. And without throwing out any names, I'm going to tell you that most of the people out there that call themselves real estate coaches have never done it. They've never been in the trenches. They don't sell. They tell you what to do, but they don't ever tell you how they did it. Okay. I can name some people right now that have not sold one house in their entire life, maybe their own personal home. Okay. I would want to, whenever I go to hire a trainer in the gym, I don't even consider somebody who's not bigger and stronger than me. Some skinny little kid wants to say, hey, let me train you. Well, you go put some muscle on and let me see that you know what you're doing before we talk. Okay. My last bench press was 535. Show me that you can push that and we'll talk. So, Jim, it's a great question. I can tell you that if you're properly motivated and if you'll listen to what I tell you to do, I can turn that production from a year to a month. I can have you doing 8 and 9 a month, not 8 and 9 a year.
I'd be happy with 5 a month at this point.
Hey, listen, call me up. Call me up. Let's set up a time to talk and I'll help you. And if you don't like the direction we're going, quit. I won't charge you a dime. If you don't think that I can help you, if you don't think that what I'm teaching you is what you need, I won't charge you a dime. That's the benefit of working for the guy or coaching with the guy that owns the company. I can put my money where my mouth is. I know what to do. And if you guys wanted to make a change, then you need to reach out. I can help you.
We'll talk. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. Again, thank you for your patience. I'm so sorry about the technical issues. We thought we had confirmed that we could do 2 Zoom calls at one time. Zoom says you can, but apparently you can't. So thanks for your patience. Appreciate you being here. I was really looking forward to sharing this material with you, and I hope that it benefited you. Reach out to me again, write down my email address, write down my phone number. Anything I can do to help you, I'm here for you. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.